Hello, thank you for inviting me for the third international conference on traditional building, architecture and urbanism. My name is Maher Abu-samra. I'm Jordanian architect and practicing construction. I will present my experience on traditional building techniques in Jordan using the local materials. First of all, I worked for 10 years with well-known international Professor Abdelwahid Al-Wakil for traditional designs in different countries. And I was very touched with Hassan Fathi quote when he said in his book Architecture for the Poor, look under your feet and then build. And I feel that when I build my house, like every architect, he has a dream to build and design his own house. So I excavate the land to reach the street level. I get more than 1,000 cubic meter of solid rocks because the land topography on the mountain, most of Amman city on mountains. So here I start to train some normal worker. They just deal before with the reinforced concrete buildings and experience to train them to work on my project to construct load-bearing walls using the stone and the lime, using stone material like what I said for the load-bearing walls, also using the stone for the ceiling, vaults, cross vaults, domes, whatever the type of the ceiling. I have a dream to make this house as a good example of traditional architecture. So I want to make the ceilings types is variable, so I don't want to copy or repeat any kind of ceiling to get the trained and know the secrets about behind this building technique. After that, I got two more load-bearing projects in Jordan, and today I will present the technique to you. Now here the location map of the city, showing the location of Amman and the location of the land. The altitude around 860 meters above sea level. For the design concept, the plan is very simple. There is a central courtyard with indirect entrance from the street to the central courtyard, and we have cross vault as a loggia near the swimming pool. Also we have an open E1 outdoor sitting, and one big Arabic qa'a, which is salon, contain one central dome and two vaults right and left of the space. Also we have a small toilet and small kitchenette. From the central courtyard, there is an open stair, goes up to the first floor, where we have the 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms with small kitchen. So this summer house is very simple layout. The land around 630 square meter, and the built-up area around 260 square meter. The next slide, we can see the longitudinal section showing the height of the spaces. The qa'a, or the central dome, we have around the maximum height 9.5 meter. We can see the topography. There is a difference between the street level and the higher point of the land, more than 6 meters. Here I have a presentation for the قاعة showing the ground floor section and the neck of the dome, which is the squinches drum, and 3D perspective for the internal view. Also here I present some 3D visualization for the قاعة, showing the feeling of the using wooden screen مشربية for the windows, using marble tile with Islamic pattern for the floor, as well as the arches details. More slides to show the interior spaces. Now here I will start to speak about the type of building materials, which is the stone. First of all, we have this big unit of the rocks. We divided using the wedge and chims to split the rocks, and we cut the stone every 25 centimeter or 30. It's depend on the required unit size and the site. So this one, I have it from the excavation, these rocks, and I start cut it on site. Here we have another two kind of stone. On the right side, you can see this common in Jordan, the size of this stone cladding used in the conventional buildings here. Thickness of the stone is 4 centimeter, the height of the course 25 centimeter, and the length is variable, average like 60 or from 60 to 1 meter length. So I use these 4 centimeter thickness stone pieces to build the arches and build the walls. On the left side, I cut big pieces with tilted edge to have the main arches on dry technique, so there is no mortar between the pieces. Just accurate cutting before we start installing. One of the invention comes out when we are working to have these stone wedges, stone triangles. So because the stone units for the vaults are equal, when you have this curvature, you have to fill the void with stone. Sorry. So we invent and we cut these small triangles, stone like wedges, and when we start build, just we have this triangle and keep the each piece perpendicular on the curve, and we have to add those stone wedges to adjust the place of these units. Here one picture of the worker team. 4 of them are Syrian refugees. They came to Jordan after the civil war there, and the rest is Jordanian. When we start the work, before I didn't have the experience to deal with the chisel and cutting stone or carving. By time, I did all the ornament and carving on stone and details, calligraphies, whatever. We have details, that's my responsibility. So I work daily with the team. So the big pieces here on this slide, we can use them to have the pointed arch, and we carry them by small motor, electrical motor, with the small hook to carry the pieces because it's heavy. Some arches we have 1 meter width, other 75 centimeter. So this dry technique, once we finish the keystone, add it exactly, we can remove the wooden shuttering or steel shuttering. The wooden shuttering is expensive. Later we start using just only steel bars with the curvature to minimize the cost of the formworks. Here also we can see very wide span pointed arch. This one for the main dome. The span is around 3.2 centimeter, I think. And we are using steel bar shuttering. This arcade at the courtyard, and we can see the stair going up, contain 4 arches, and I add small segmental arches to minimize the load and to have this decorative vault. Also, this is a perspective inside the courtyard showing the loggia. Here we have different arcade with using different arches. This arch like 3-centered arch. I use it in another project in Jerash. This 3-centered arch again. Some elements we are embedded here like a corbel to carry the wooden pergola. Here we start the construction of the vault. We can see this is first vault we built. We have wooden shutter. The shape of the vault is catenary vault. We draw it on the wooden piece, and then we turn it up to have this shape. And we use the stone on horizontal shape, so the 4 centimeter it will see inside the room later. And we have to keep each piece perpendicular. Here we can see the red triangle. When we are building, we keep each piece perpendicular to the curvature. This fold of this is a vault at the middle after we adding lime plastering. Here different images to see the catenary vault, which is at the right side of the qa. Here we can see 2 different height vaults. This is the vault from inside. You can see the interior. We add like 2 rows of basil just for decoration, and we have screen, triangle screen like what Mr. Hassan Fathi did before, and it will give the space a magnificent triangle shapes inside. This is the qa'a on this slide, but still the dome not yet finished. Should be comes at the middle between the 2 vaults, and we have to build the 2 vaults before to equalize the load coming from the dome later. Different perspective. Here we can see the pointed arch and pointed vault for the E1. It's different profile also. You can see the 3D rendering and the reality images. Here I add decorative at the E1, decorative pieces on 15 centimeter thickness. I carve it, the reference from Mosul, from Iraq. They use these leaves for decoration. This is another catenary vault, very high one and very big one on different project. This one on Jalad, different Jalad farm project. And also I add different kind of carving stone for the front to have nice decoration. Here you can see on the left the team, they are fixing the front of the arch. And on the right side, a lot of trainees, architecture students, they came to work with us and learn what we are doing on load-bearing structure. Different images here at night view. You can see the cross vault and the arches. Another shape of vault, we can see 3-centered arch vault on Jerash project, and we use it with wooden shutter. But here we didn't use the 5 centimeter pieces, 4 centimeter width pieces. We have 10 centimeter and the height is 20 for this vault, and it will look very nice when we open it, the shutter. The construction of the cross vault. At the loggia in my house, we have this cross vault. We use also wood shuttering for the cross vault, and we use the 4 centimeter thickness pieces to have this ceiling. And I add at the middle decorative stone piece, like a cone goes down. We drill it to have chandelier later, electrical. Here we can see the cross vault during the construction, how we adjust these voids with the wooden, with the stone wedges, and fill the rest with stone. This one, another cross vault on Jalad project. So we have the small 4 centimeter pieces, and this is big span. This is the shutter of the cross vault here. We have we have main arch, main vault, and intersected with it, there is 8 centimeter 3-centered profile arch. So this is the wooden shutter before we start the stone building. This image, you can see the ceiling cross vault finished with those diagonal cut for each direction. This is the image of the cross vault after removing the shutter. And we have here 8-meter span. At the middle, you can see the cross vault after we add the slab on grade for the rain water slope. And the central, there is roundabout, and it will works like a canopy for the building. Different image from that cross vault. Here on my house, we have at the kitchen intersected vault. So we have one big vault intersected with it like 8 small vaults. For this example, I used 2 different kinds of stone. For the main vault, I used big pieces, handmade, hand cut. And for the small vaults, we use the 4 centimeter cutting from the market stone. Here the shuttering, and here you can see the ceiling before we fill the void, and it's appeared with 2 different type of stone, and at the middle of the intersection there is like a keystone. We drill it to have lighting texture. This is the keystone, the intersected point pieces upside down, and you can see the images during the construction. And here the kitchen after removing the shutter and the result of the intersected vault. Another element or architectural vocabulary is construction of stairs. We did stair on arches. So here a good example, you can see the upper right image. There is a small very minimum 4 bars of steel to have the shuttering, and the images during the construction of the stair. And later we build a wall separation between the 2 landing for architecture purpose. Another stair also on arches or on vault. Here you can see the neck and the dome start the layer of the squinches. There is images inside. We have 4 squinches with semicircle arch and half dome to change or convert the plan from square to octagon and prepare it to have the dome on plan. For tile patterns, I inspired from Islamic architecture heritage. I copy some of the Islamic patterns from reference Al Sultan Hassan Madrasa and Mosque in Cairo, and another patterns from Turkey. And here we cut the marble with the architecture students on the site. It's not like a laser cut. We prepare the design and cut it on the site using small pieces of marble, which is in general waste, to have these small bands and small patterns, like recycling and creating this beauty. Different pattern for the marble. Here, this pattern at my house with the stone. We use travertine and local white Jordanian marble and basalt to have these patterns. And it's 4 centimeter thickness of the tile, so it's very heavy duty, timeless architecture, like what the conference they say, because the lifespan of the stone building is more than 1,000 years comparing to the reinforced concrete, which is 70 maximum. We have wall pattern also. I cut this one, nice pattern on the travertine stone, yellow stone, Jordanian one. Here, when I start carving, I like to have a lot of details, sometimes with reference, sometimes without, to have like niches, lintels, or opening, or windows. And also here I cut a lot of Islamic patterns with reference sometimes, like this one from Al-Hakim Mosque in Cairo, the upper one from Aleppo, I remember. Here I also cut Muqarnas, stalactites, the reference also from Al Sultan Hassan Mosque, and we added on our project. Here I cut capital and base of column. We just had like a very big box concrete stone square or rectangle, and I cut it on site. Some ornament and detail floral pattern adding to the column capital or the windows details later when I become expert on carving. So I start doing after installing the piece. So I work on the piece after installation, not before. So I have time, anytime I have free time, I go and carve whatever I want. I wish this information and the presentation is helpful, and I wish somebody inspired to start his dream like me. And thank you again for inviting me, and good luck. Bye-bye.